Good evening. My name is Blanca Muñoz. I'm going to talk about reading this week. It's titled Formulation of National Trade Policies. The reading has some objectives and are present the major arguments in favor of and against governmental intervention in international trade. Identify the advantages and disadvantages of adopting an industrial policy. Describe the major tools countries use to restrict trade. Analyze the role of domestic politics in formulating a country's international trade policies. Specify the techniques countries use to promote international trade. Explain how countries protect themselves against unfair trade practices. The issues on trade intervention are: should national government intervene to protect the country's domestic firms by taxing foreign goods entering the domestic market or constructing other barriers against imports? Should national government directly help the country's domestic firms increase their foreign sales through export subsidies, government to government negotiation and guaranteed loan programs? Should national government use free trade or fair trade? The industrial level arguments are: national defense argument, infant industry argument, maintenance of existing jobs, strategic trade theory. The national defense arguments are: country must be self-sufficient in critical raw materials, machinery, and technology, or else be vulnerable to foreign threats. Appeals to general public. Protects steel, electronics, and machine tools industries, and merchant marines. The infant industry argument are: imposition of tariffs to give United States firms temporary protection from foreign competition until firms are fully established. Powerful economic development strategy. Which industries should be protected for how long? The maintenance of existing jobs are: jobs in high-wage countries threatened by imports from low-wage countries, forms of assistance that can be tariffs or quotas. The strategic trade theory is a national government that can make its country better off if it adopts trade policies that improve the competitiveness of its domestic firms and oligopolistic industries. The national trade policies are: economic development programs like export promotion strategy and import substitution strategy. Industrial policy like key domestic industries chosen, protected, and promoted. Public choice analysis like customers versus special interest groups. The barriers to international trade can be tariff barriers like export tariff, transit tariff, and import tariffs, or non-tariff barriers like quotas, numerical export control, product and testing standards, restricted access to distribution networks, public sector procurement policies, regulatory controls, currency controls, investment controls, and local purchase requirements. The promotion of international trade is through subsidies, foreign trade zones, export financing programs. To controlling unfair trade practices, they have to do International Trade Administration with the division of United States Department of Commerce. Determines whether an unfair trade practice has occurred Confirm cases transferred to United States International Trade Commission. Two types of unfair trade practices are government subsidies and unfair pricing practices. The objectives of unfair trade practices laws are promote global efficiency by encouraging production in those countries that can produce a good most efficiently. Ensure that trade occurs on the basis of comparative advantage, not the size of government subsidies. Protect customers from predatory behavior. This is all for my part. Thanks for listening to me.